Welcome to the Happiness Alchemy podcast for magical women craving business, life, and spiritual growth. Stay with me to expand and empower yourself to live a life you love. Today I'm joined by one of my spectacular soul sisters, Antonina Andreeva. I see Antonina as pure cosmic love, like in a real way. I really need to get grounded when I talk to her because she makes the cosmic explode in me. I think you'll find that too when you talk to her. She's a soul DNA coach and mentor and the founder of the Sacred Feminine Leadership Academy, which is a global platform for women who are ready to reclaim their wealth, power, and magic, the feminine way. Welcome, Antonina.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tracy. And it's so great to be connected to you. Thank you for inviting me on as your guest. Sometimes I think I just, create things just to swim in your energy.
It's a lot of fun. You're gonna see us taking a lot of breaths on this interview because it's tricky for us to stay grounded when we're together. There's a lot of explosion of magic there.
Right. Yeah. We're always just like a little high vibe ladder that we tend to climb to.
Exactly.
Together, so.
Exactly. Okay. All right. So let's get right into it. So will you tell me a little bit about your perception of true feminine power and what that means and like why that's important for us to give attention to that topic right now?
Sure. I mean, first of all, what a great question. And here is what I came to understand and really what has spurred my decision in creating the Sacred Feminine Leadership Academy. So what it is that we all tend to know femininity or the way femininity is told to us purely from a masculine perspective. And I want to take a moment and pause here and let that sink in. All that we've come to know about femininity is told to us from a singular, and I would go as far as saying a masculine perspective.
I totally agree.
And so sometimes in order to deliver this truth to my clients, I say, imagine a widower, right, who has a daughter, and it's time to have that conversation. So he's going to impart his wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of what feminine is, but it is never going to be a full, whole picture.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of one-sided perspective. And so to me, this would explain the alarming statistics for women. So prior to this, I had a quick Google, and here's what I come to find. And this is a study that was in The Guardian, but I think it was carried out by a big publication like Cosmopolitan. So 71% of women report suffering from anxiety and panic attacks. Like, that's crazy.
It is crazy. Yeah.
And then for a further 40 have reported or sought medical help in order to combat stress. 82% have told of persistent and repetitive negative patterns and emotions. And 71% talk about feeling unmotivated, disengaged, and dissatisfied with life. So what this tells me is burnout is now a generational topic. With, more than 1 in 3 women feeling completely disconnected and disengaged in life.
And those are just the ones that aren't too numb to realize it, right? Like that, I think that statistic could even be higher, really.
Higher, for sure. So this is, and so if you zoom out of this for a second, it is fairly, if not like, glaringly obvious that what is happening here is that something's got to give. And in this case, it is women. And moreover, if we think about women as a creative force of life, as, they literally create universes, they create other worlds, they give birth to children. if a woman is permanently tired, dissatisfied, depressed, unengaged, then, you know, what is she passing to the next generation? What, both as an example and on a cellular level?
Yes.
And that to me is the essence of why this topic needs to be raised right now.
Oh my goodness. Full body goosebumps. I resonate and agree with that so much.
Yeah. And, you know, finding and unpacking that for myself in order to provide a more stable, a more wholesome example for my daughter, you know, made me realize that, yeah, this topic is greater than me. This message is greater than me. And we cannot afford not to talk about this. We cannot not afford to educate about this. We cannot not afford to give this a voice.
Yeah, you're totally right. Like, our attention needs to go to this. And even as you're saying those statistics, like, what's running through my mind is the amount of, like, just friends and contacts that I have who are on, like, antidepressants and things like that, just to cope with the world.
Yeah.
When and I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, whatever gets you through, but tuning into the feminine power as you're, you know, either weaning yourself off of those or kind of connecting back in with this and understanding and even getting a glimpse of that feminine power, just it shifts so much whenever you start to realize, oh wait, I'm feeling off balance, not necessarily because of the little things in my life, but because of the really, really big things.
Absolutely. I mean, the life, like our life as a whole is getting faster as a society, as a development. And so there's just like, it feels like the load is getting heavier. And so there are more roles to fulfill. There's more to take on. There is more to deliver.
Yeah.
And that load, yeah, it's just, it's getting too much.
It is. Yeah.
And so here, what I wanted to share with you is another beautiful quote that I found through somebody called Aisha K. Fines, and it talks about feminine power is an unparalleled inner strength. It is an objective intelligence paired with psychic intuition. It is comforting depth of emotion. It is access to healing energy, unbridled attraction, and miraculous ability to manifest both physical, mental, and psychic reality.
That's amazing. What I find so interesting about that is almost the exact definition that and we're not going to get into this today because we'll need another episode, but I find that is the exact definition that I would use for the word witch too, which has of course been, you know, skewed totally differently, but it's beautiful. And it really resonates whenever, like, as you're listening to that, like maybe even rewind and go back and listen to that again and just kind of tune in and feel how that resonates in your body, because it feels very amazing, and it's time for that to wake up. Okay. All right. So
absolutely.
How do you find this feminine power, like, contrast the societal norms that we're used to operating from? So how does that contrast?
Well, we as women are encouraged by the society to literally turn away and disconnect from so much that makes us truly powerful. You know, our magic, our ability to read and work with energy, those are all ingrained. Like for me, witches, every woman is a witch. Yeah. Our ability to harness and work with flow. So to me, that's like the wealth energy, or manifest, right? Again, that's not something that is special. It is something that we have within our field, right? So if we can create children, we can create universes. We are the creatrixes. Who is not to say that we cannot create abundance?
Of course. Well, yeah. Who is
so
to
the
say
sensual,
that?
magical, so the magical energy, so the ability to bring all of this into the physical environment, creating a safe, stable, wholesome field, not just for ourselves, but for everyone who comes into it. And I call this 3 points, which are connected to our lower chakras, our magic, our wealth, and our power.
Oh my goodness. I love it.
And so to me, what's happening now, or what we're witnessing, is we're locked out of this lower energy centers, or they're skewed, you know, the energy is not flowing through them properly. And so we're kind of forced to live in a right-handed or singular environment, where which again results in burnout, depression, dissatisfaction, all the things that we've just talked about.
Exactly.
Where,
and it's
go on.
I was just going to say it's thousands of years of suppression in these lower chakras and not actually tuning into what that means. So it just I love this work. I could listen to you talk about this all day long. It feeds me so much, and I know that many people listening will feel the same way. Yeah.
Absolutely. It just feels like it is time to unpack this. It is time to remember. It is time to tune into our bodies. And it is time to unlock all this potential that is available, feminine potential that is available to us, like right here now, and stop looking outside and just come back to our center and come back to our truth.
Exactly. And it's interesting too, because sometimes when people hear words like that, it's kind of a little bit out there. So what advice would you give on how we can empower ourselves and, you know, those around us, especially our daughters and, you know, the younger generation, because they learn from our example. So how would you advise people to empower themselves to live from this place of feminine power?
What a great question. So again, I truly believe that in order to empower ourselves, this is an invitation to come back in. This is an invitation to come back close, like to stop looking outside, and begin unpacking your unique kind of like what it means to you, your unique meaning and understanding and perception of what this is.
Yes.
And here what I want to do is kind of, a lot of women that hear this message tend to go, right, you know, what if I'm not kind of a leader? Because the archetype that we have connected to leadership is very, again, singular, masculine archetype. Like think Moses on top of the mountain, receiving 10 commandments and then leading the way. And what I have come to understand is female leadership is a lot different. It is based on nurture. It is based on sisterhood. It is based on support. It is based on plurality.
Yes.
And moreover, when we come to understand this, and when we come to journey inwards and begin saying, you know what, the buck stops with me, I'm choosing to do differently. And from that, right, creating a new paradigm, creating new opportunity, creating new ways. That to me is the essence of feminine leadership, or the kind of leadership that is being new paradigm leadership, the kind of leadership that is being like what we're being asked to do right now is kind of to choose differently. But in order to choose differently, we must first unpack that which is inside of us and question our beliefs, our patterns, our perception, question those who have that have been brought for us. For sure, they have served us well over the years, but there'll be some things that are keeping you in the cage that you're in.
And that's so key. I love that too. It's the questioning, but then not looking outside of yourself to a guru for the answers, looking within and saying what feels true for me and spending more time getting in touch with that. It's just,
right.
Yeah.
And so leadership, leadership is about choosing to go first before you're coming to lead anybody. And so it feels very potent and pertinent right now to see that there's a new wave of consciousness that is coming, which is why our physical eyes and our physical ears, or like the experience that we're witnessing, might be that of a distraction, but we know deep down within our hearts that this is also the beginning, the creation of something new.
Exactly.
And
So many people
so,
feel that, I think.
right. And so it's trusting that impulse and asking like what new gets to be created, what do I need to let go of in order to give way to that newness, and which in essence is coming back to our understanding that we as women are cyclical in our nature.
Mm-hmm.
And that's those cycle, and we have been forced to live in a kind of in a linear time frames,
Yes.
right? In a linear society, in a kind of linear box, if you will, like on a
Yes.
linear gradient.
Yep.
And to me, that's again the reasoning why we are feeling so disconnected from our truth, which is spiral or cyclical, just like one of Mother Gaia, you know?
Absolutely. And I find so many people are coming into that, especially as we're coming into 2018. There's just been so many shifts, and so many people are kind of waking up to this. And I think that's why a lot of people are feeling that discomfort. They're feeling
Right.
overwhelmed. They're feeling that anxiety. And it comes back to, what do you
Are
truly
you
need?
living? Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you living your truth? Absolutely. I mean, one of the kind of like really day-to-day examples, I remember feeling like over the summer, feeling really disappointed that it's the first of the month and I haven't set any goals.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
haven't
right?
fully landed of like what's happening with me until I've come to understand that I've naturally started syncing with the moon. And
Yes.
so like my goal setting would happen between the 5th of the 7th, whenever the new moon would come in.
Yes.
And once I gave myself the kind of the permission to just go with the flow, like literally, it felt like such a relief. It was like one less thing that I had to force myself to do. And again, what I want to bring it here is to that power is just, it just is. It doesn't need to be forced. Forced is something that's been brought in by kind of the patriarchy. Like true power is like, look at the mountain, feel into that magnificent energy. I know that you live in the mountainous terrain and water, like just look at the nature, and there is no force there. It just isness.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yes. And that's what we're craving so much of. And it's, yes. And I love how you said that about the box. We're trying to fit ourselves into first of the month, goal setting, like all of these kind of linear left-brained ideas. But really we're like, no, we want balance. We want to spiral and we want to go.
Right. We want to flow. We want to spiral. We want to rest when we want to rest. We want to rest in the winter and kind of percolate and let like new things to go in before emerging. We want to be synced with our truth, which is cyclical. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, I love this. I love this so much. Okay. So here's a question that I ask everybody that I interview. So because this is the Happiness Alchemy podcast, and to me, alchemy means a transformation. So taking something and transforming it into something better. So can you give me an example of some time that you created happiness alchemy in your life? So something you transformed into something better.
Absolutely. So, it started raining here. So gorgeous. I can just hear the rain outside the window. So happiness alchemy for me was probably the moment where I reclaimed my own wealth, power, and magic. When I fully reconciled and committed and devoted myself to this path, I felt like in that I reclaimed my inner fulfillment, my inner joy, my purpose and direction without actively trying. And not only this, but I felt like everyone who has access to my life and my energy have benefited.
Yes.
Because I stopped the trying. So, my kid started doing deep yoga and mindfulness videos all on her own.
Exactly.
Just by being in my energy, my relationship with my husband improved greatly because I was able to voice my truth and ask and receive what I desire. And as a result of this, of course, our business improved, right? Because whatever you're feeling inside whatever you experience outside is just a reflection of inner manifestation. And so finding this truth and finding the pillars upon which we build out the Sacred Feminine Leadership Academy just allowed me to be as opposed to do.
Exactly. Oh, I love it so much. And I love so much that how much you recognize, well, I mean, sometimes it's just so obvious, how much you recognize that just the energetic effects where you're not trying to affect your husband or your daughter or the people around you. It just happens naturally from your energy that's at a higher vibration and that's in tune with your feminine power. It's just natural.
Exactly. And it felt, I guess, because it's so glaringly obvious, right? It's like, wow, This is such a simple but profound truth that sometimes we tend to overlook it. Surely it must be more difficult than that. Like following the cycles of the earth, listening to her wisdom, but like, for goodness sakes, that's exactly what's worked before. This is why it is so pertinent and important right now to remember that wisdom, the wisdom that resides deep within our bones, in our very DNA.
Exactly.
You know?
It's all right there for us. Okay. All right. I'm getting very excited about this. So can you tell me about the Feminine Leadership Academy, and so people can find out more about it? How do they do it? Like, what is going on with this? I'm so excited about it.
Ooh, okay, sure. So Sacred Feminine Leadership Academy was created as a response to kind of the things that we touched upon today. And I wanted to and here I want to say that when I first received the download, like I said, I had to go away and unpack for like a year.
Yes.
The concept of leadership, the concept of feminine, and like really what the energy wanted me to do. And so as a result, we wanted to put together a leadership incubator for women who have elected to go first in reclaiming their feminine self. And a container so magical, so tight, and so encouraging that it would facilitate this rebirth in such a powerful way that these women then can go and emerge as leaders and see the change codes, not only in their respective families, but communities, leading by their energy, leading by example, leading by the choices that they make.
And it's so an integrity for you because you spent that time to do it, because you really, really absorbed it and understand it. So I just can continue. Sorry, I just had to mention that. It just
absolutely
it feels so in such good integrity. Yeah.
Thank you. It took some time, but it felt important to do it in this way.
Yeah.
And so what felt really good is to create an immersive experience for these women and perhaps give them an opportunity to step out of their daily life, to step out of their daily chores and responsibilities and obligations even, and create something that would really give them an opportunity to connect back to themselves, to connect them back, like literally plug them into the consciousness of Gaia, and really work with the wisdom of the land, because, you know, all the cycles are connected, right? And so we created an opportunity to adventure out to a place that holds a lot of this energy. In fact, Greece, which is our first stop, right? So Sacred Feminine Leadership Academy is a 12-month journey that is divided into kind of 4 segments. And then, you can journey with us for 12 months, or you can just elect to go into like one of the segments. Whatever you need at this time. There's kind of no pressure to choose.
It's flowing.
We're just going with what feels right. And so what we're doing it as a first segment is we're journeying to Greece, where this patriarchal archetype of a singular, scary, angry God was inserted. So what I've come to know that like the guy that, whenever a lot of people like unpack what is God to them. A lot of the time, right, there's like, oh, I don't know what God to me is. Like, is this guy in the clouds, this angry guy in the cloud is Zeus, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's actually Zeus. And so it felt right to journey to Greece, which again, I learned to discover is not only the whole archetype of Zeus. I don't know when Christ was coming in, but also
just supporting us.
Yeah, just like, hey. But also contains the essence of Adishakti, which is the primordial mother, and kind of repatterning the Gaia energy, but also like our own understanding of feminine power. And really kind of coming into full circle and coming into this vibration, into this knowing, into this remembering of what is a feminine power, unlocking the wealth codes, reclaiming our ability to work with magic, read energy, manifest like a mother. And putting
like literally
and then creating from that place, like raising the energy and creating new solutions, new resolutions, new ways of being, or rather reclaiming, remembering from kind of that high energetic space, feeling fully rested, fully nurtured, fully taken care of, looked after, and then coming back home to our families, and really in such a strong vibration that we're able to move mountains. So I want to like almost finish up with the Chinese proverb, when sleeping women wake, mountains move, right? So in essence, that's what I want to do. I want to wake these women up, let them move these mountains, and it's time to create a new world.
It reminds me of the movie Moana there. just at the end. I love it. I love it so much. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm going to have links so that you can learn a little bit more about this, and you can fill out an application form to learn more about the Sacred Feminine Leadership Academy. And I'm also going to have some more information on Antonina in the show notes so that you can check her out further. Antonina, thank you so much.
You're most welcome. And thank you to all who are electing to listen to us. Yes, please do connect. Please do get in touch. I love connecting. I love getting to know women and chatting, as you've probably realized. So like reach out, say hello, follow the links, fill out an application form. We can create an opportunity for a conversation if this is something that felt like a full body yes.
Yeah. Oh, and listen to that. If you are listening to this and you feel that full body yes, follow through on it, because there is absolute magic there when you feel the full body yes.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Sometimes, the mind will go, right, wow, what is this? This is just a feeling. But that impulse is there for a reason. And I find that when you follow the impulse, like the next step is given to you. It's when we hold back and go, hey, I need more data, like I need certainty, is when kind of like resistance is created.
Exactly. And what I'll find, and I know I'm trying to wrap up here, but it's tricky. What I'll find too is whenever I do listen to kind of that left side and don't, it's as though my body will like drag me to it. It'll give me physical symptoms. It'll keep dragging me and saying, you need to pay attention to this because it's next on the path. So again, if you're feeling any type of, upsets or anything like that, listen to your body, because it's
right.
There's so much wisdom.
Yeah. Ask what it needs. Yeah, for sure. Thank you. Yes. Thank you for like filling out the picture for that. So yes, thank you so much for having me. And it's been such a pleasure chatting to you.
My pleasure too. Thanks so much. Thanks for listening to the Happiness Alchemy podcast. If you know someone who would resonate with this message, please share this episode with them. Sending so much gratitude. Have an amazing day.